Hey, well, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today, I'm taking a road trip up to the western part of Maine to help a friend of mine who asked me if I could give him a hand to replace a well tile on his dug well. It was about a 2-hour trip for me over to the western part of the state, but it was a nice ride, and I've done it before and enjoyed it. I'd never replaced a well tile before, and neither had he, but we were both up for the task. And with the right tools and equipment, we were confident that the day would end successfully. And for anybody wondering what a dug well is, it's basically a hole in the ground with cement casing tiles piled on top of each other that collect water, and you can drop a pump in there or draw the water out of the well itself up to the house. This was the type of well that Dave had right here, my friend, and we were going to have to replace the top tile. Here you can see we've already dug around the top tile, which is about 3 feet tall and about 4 feet in diameter, or 40 inches, I believe. And the first thing we had to do after we dug around the tile was take all the water out of the well and around the tile casing. Here you can see we're just waiting for the pump to finish pumping out the well. After the well is pumped, I put a ladder down inside so that we could get down inside and take a look at the pump and the wiring and try to get a better understanding of what we were going to have to do in order to replace that top tile. That top tile, by the way, had just deteriorated over the years, and water was coming in from the ground level, and you never want ground level water coming into your dug well. You want the water to be coming in from down below. And that's why he was replacing that top casing this morning. Here we got the chain hooked up to the top casing, the old top casing. He's got his skid steer hooked up, and we're getting ready to pull the old casing off. Whoops, one of the hooks broke. That's okay, Dave. Keep going. Keep going. Eventually he was able to lift it up off, and we were able to get it up out of the way.
Swing that out of there. Nice! Awesome.
And anybody that's been in the New England area knows we've been getting our fair share of rain this summer. And his location up here in the hills has been getting an exceptional amount of rain. So we had to work a little bit quick to try and make sure that this hole didn't fill back up with water before we could get the new casing tile in place. There was a lot of water coming right out of the hillside in the dirt. And we had to keep the pump running a little bit once in a while just to keep the water out, but for the most part, it stayed fairly level. Here I am standing on the top of the well casing before we replace it with the new one. I haven't put the ladder down back inside yet. Right on the right-hand side, you'll see the hose that goes down to the pump and up to the house, which is about 100 yards up the hill. The power also comes in that whole casing right where we saw the water line that comes into the casing also. Luckily, that was on the lower casing. We only had to drill one hole in the upper casing for the power. Here we are installing the new well casing. We installed the gasket in between the new casing and the old casing, and that really helped the casing that we were putting in stay right in place once we dropped it in place. Here I'm just guiding Dave in to make sure that we line the casing up as best we can. I believe at one point I had to jump down inside the hole to kind of just make sure everything was lined up. He didn't have a really clear view exactly how well the casing was lining up, so I was trying to do my best to line them up. Here I go down into the hole just to make sure that everything's lined up properly. Here Dave is punching a new hole in the side of the new casing tile so we can run the power line through down to the pump inside the well. It ended up taking a good 15-20 minutes to punch a hole through the side of that concrete fiber reinforced wall. There it is, all done. Get the pump back in. Dave's gonna seal up the hole. New casing. I'm going to put the cover on. It ended up taking us about 4 or 5 hours to get that new casing tile put on and everything hooked up. But at the end of the day, it came out beautiful. Everything looks good. The water was filling back up again, and all we had to do was get it hooked up to power and test it out. He'll be doing that at a later date. But for now, we'll call that mission accomplished. Thanks for joining us for another video. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.